Pricing.
No, but nobody has even pointed out that overpricing. It has never been discussed by anybody anywhere. Because you see, the other issue is that, the things which sound, they are good politics, but good politics is not always factual or even sensible when you look at it. Because that question, in any case, let us grant you that credit and say you are right in what you are saying. There's a government in place which has a responsibility to publish those documents. And by the way, by law, government cannot hide documents, especially from parliament. Because the government is accountable, the executive branch of government is accountable to parliament, because the parliament are the representatives of the people. Any committee of the House, any departmental committee of the House can actually go and demand to see or to have sight of a contract, and there's no problem with that. Frankly speaking, and the facts will bear me out on this matter, unfortunately, this is again that area where I have to be polite and say, I like a situation where when people come into a situation, they have looked at all the sides of what is supposed to be happening. It is very difficult in this day and age, let me tell you, Jay. It is not even difficult, almost impossible for you to actually hide a contract. How did Kenyans know about what was going on at JKIA and the concessioning that was going on there? It's very difficult. There's no government that can hide, because if you don't want to reveal the contract yourself, your counterpart will be bound by even international regulation and they will reveal it. So that issue of the SGR contract, it was revealed. And even when this administration came to power, the Minister for Transport, the first thing he did was to say he's putting out the contract open. Our government had never refused to put out the contract. When they were demanded of it by Parliament, they just owned up, because you cannot ignore Parliament as it is. So, as I said, there are things that are very good politics and correct politics. But correct politics and good politics is always not factual politics.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It is not good to ignore Parliament.
Yeah.
But during your tenure, a couple of times you were summoned by different House committees, and you didn't attend. Some of them you attended, some of them you didn't.
Again, another aspect of good politics.
It's a question of accountability. We have institutions which you are accountable as a leader. So when you are invited to a House committee to shed light on contraband sugar, the role of the ministry during COVID-19, the Rodaka land scandal, it was available most times.
Jay, again, this is a matter which I keep saying.
I'm asking on behalf of the public, because they sent me here to ask you this.
Yeah, again, this is a matter on which, in all honesty and fairness, facts say something totally different. The question is this: let's begin from what is very rudimentary and factual on this particular matter. There is one thing that will not save you as a cabinet minister: defying Parliament. Because even the president will not save you from defying Parliament. Because if Parliament fires you or Parliament sacks you, even the president cannot reinstate you or appoint you. And you cannot actually qualify for public office if Parliament sanctions you as a cabinet minister. So let me begin from that rudimentary and say this: there is no minister I know of, unless you have a problem, who will try to defy Parliament. Because if you defy Parliament, you know what is going to happen. And Parliament has got powers to sanction you. So that's fact number one. Number two, as I said, there are things that are good politics, but they cannot be supported by facts. The Hansard is there, the records are there, and everything is there. People who are either your political detractors or people who want to look for something negative to say about you will always find things to say. Or he did not come to Parliament. How is it that there is not a single committee of the House for the entire 10 years I served as a minister? I was not sanctioned by one committee of Parliament, one. So if what is being claimed is true, how is it that if you are saying that most times I did not appear in Parliament, how is it that I wasn't sanctioned by the Parliament? Yet the standing orders, by the way, provide that you can only fail to come there 3 times. If you fail to come there 3 times, the committee sanctions you. I was not sanctioned once by any committee of the House. Fact number 3. When you are serving as a cabinet minister, especially in a busy docket like that of Interior and Coordination of National Government, chances are that given the roles that you play at that particular time, within and without the country, because by tradition, the cabinet minister in charge of Interior is essentially like, quote-unquote, the special envoy for security for the National Security Council, especially in the region. And there will be regional things that are happening at that time while you are serving as Minister for Interior. I remember, for example, vividly, one time when the Departmental Committee on Security wanted me in the House, and the President wanted me to join the Prime Minister of Ethiopia in a meeting they were having on a critical security matter in the region with the rest of the people, because the President could not travel. So at that time, you have to be NADIS, and you are required in Parliament. So what happens, and the records are there. You do a very respectful letter to the Speaker and explain your schedule, and they ask the Speaker either to allow you to send either your assistant minister at that time when we had assistant ministers, or the PS, or asking the committee to give you a different date. There isn't a single time I can remember for the entire 10 years I served as a cabinet, there isn't a single time when the Speaker of the House either wrote a rude letter to me or a sanction letter to me or disagreed with me. In all cases of that kind, the clerk wrote back and said, the committee has been advised to reschedule you for next week. Okay.
Or, so your absence was justifiable
or send the PS to come and appear. And you know, if I was a sanctioned minister for non-appearance in Parliament, a sanctioned minister is where the clerk has written and said, you failed 3 times, and therefore the committee has taken this drastic action against you. I don't have that. So when people raise these matters all the time, again, unfortunately, and I have had interviews with reporters who ask this, and I tell them, please consult your facts before you raise the question. The politics will be there, but the facts will also be in a different direction. Look at the facts before you go to the politics. It's like this thing of court orders. When people say, oh, you didn't obey court orders, and I ask the question, which order? Court orders are not things you can dream about and wake up in the morning and say, oh, the court orders have got references. So give me a reference of a particular court order that I defied. Then when you look at that, you discover again, it is, people are looking for an opportunity to lynch you politically. And then in that particular case, there is nothing. I said it in another interview the other day, I think I was sued as a minister 11 or 13 times, I can't quite remember the number. For the entire 10 years I was a minister, I did not lose a single case as a minister. And ministers and government officers will be sued all the time. You are taking action, for example, when I took action on firearms, the small arms, the licensing of firearms, and saying the regime is completely messed up, it's riddled with corruption, I nullified the entire registration of firearms and said, let's do it afresh so that we can know who actually is selling firearms in the country, who is licensed to carry firearms, and whether or not we are following the law. I did not write a new law. I simply went to the Act as it is, and I said, let us go down the Act. The Act requires that for you to be licensed to carry a gun, you must qualify this. Is everyone who is licensed to carry a gun in this country obedient to these particular provisions? The answer is no. We actually cancelled so many licenses. But you see, people will always resist, especially those who have been doing illegal activities. I reduced the people who are selling guns in this country by over 80% by that act alone, because many did not qualify. So what is their resort? They will go to court. And they go and say, oh, the minister is being this. And I say, let us patiently follow the court. And the court initially ends up reading the law, reads the decision I've taken, and says the minister is right. 11 times the court said that the minister is right. So when people say, you defied this, which one? So let us always be guided by fact and the truth, and look at how things are going.
No problem. Thank you so much.